Welcome to episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be recapping episode 4 of The Snake. Yes, I know tonight there was not a brand new episode of The Snake, but I missed covering last week's episode because I was on vacation. So I wanted to ensure that I caught up with you guys to make sure that you guys know that I watched this episode, and I wanted to share my thoughts on that episode with each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for the continued support here and following along as I cover The Snake each and every week. Obviously, we know we have seen so many people eliminated so far. We have Mena, Brian, Cody, and Kaylee all eliminated from competition so far. And this week's episode, we saw some chess game playing with Catherine playing the field. She is continuing to possibly ruffle some feathers while also kind of overplaying hand. This was kind of the first episode where I saw Catherine might have overextended herself a little bit in order to try to continue to keep herself in secret while also not being kind of quote unquote a threat. But we see her playing the field, working with Jacob and Derek, telling them there's a secret alliance with her, Jack, Devontae, and Brett. She's lying right to Jack's face, saying she doesn't think Jacob is good, and Jack is eating it up, saying he trusts her 100%. Jim invites everybody to dinner. At the bottom of their stakes is a steak medallion. Whoever has it will become the snake. Easiest snake win of your life was just based off of where you sat at the table. Pretty crazy, huh? I like the nuance aspect of that of understanding that you literally could have been the snake had you just picked the right seat. Alyssa is this week's snake. And then, of course, we have a crate arrive. We have a new competitor in the town. John is from San Francisco. He's a politician. Jack and McLean are now smooching things up here. This week's episode, it feels like there's elements of the show that I really, really love, right? I love when we see Catherine playing the game. Jacob realizes Catherine's playing both sides, so she calls her out for it and then brings it to everybody. And by bringing it to everybody, she brought it to Derek and Jordan, Alyssa, that crew, because you got to remember, like, they're split off in crews, right? We have Devontae, Jack, Brett, and then McLean's figuring up in there a little bit. But then we have Frank, Amanda, Alyssa, Jordan and Derek are kind of off on their own a little bit. Derek's kind of like that solo monster of his own. But this caused ruckus by calling everybody. So instead of Catherine being the centralized vocal point of this, she makes mass chaos, which then Jake, Jack, and Brett and Devontae get involved. We get a big pissing contest, which Frank finally nails in the butt. But yeah, this was this was crazy to me. It was a great distraction, Catherine, because she's playing both sides. She thinks that she needs to get rid of the guys now, which I think is a little too early. I feel like she could have rode those three, plus McLean, because she's in a wild card because she's with Jack. So you have 4 or 5 people on your side. With at the time we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people still left. But 5 out of 12 is pretty solid numbers there, if you ask me. But with Alyssa being the forefront of the as she's this week's snake, of course she picks Frank. We saw that coming a mile away, which then Frank in turn picks Jordan. Jordan in turn picks Catherine. We saw that one coming too. Catherine in turn picks McLean. McLean in turn picked Jack. Jack picked Brett. Brett picked Devontae. Devontae picked Amanda. And before Amanda got to pick, Jacob wanted to speak up, saying, so lots of people have been deceptive. He snaps at Catherine, and then Catherine snaps at his ass back. And then ultimately she picks Christine anyway. So it's down to Derek and Jacob. And Alyssa said she needs some convincing. And this was like watching the guys kind of grovel at her. You know what I mean? It's like, please save me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Please save me. Please, please. And Derek relied on his consistent saying, hey, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, which honestly, the guy is telling the truth. Just nobody believes the guy. That's the crazy thing about this. Like, literally, Derek has probably been one of the most honest people on the show so far, and he continues to get, just smacked up upside his head, being claimed of cheating or being claimed of lying and all those things. So it's definitely interesting to see where we go from here. But then ultimately she kicks Jacob off, which I'm sad because I wasn't available last week, and I would have loved to speak to Jacob on my podcast because he was such an interesting player. I think it's such a loss of a good player in the house as well. He was fun, he was entertaining. So it's kind of sad to see him go. However, before he left, every person that leaves from now on is going to be able to give someone an advantage or disadvantage, which Jim tells Jacob before he goes. So before they leave, they're going to be able to give an advantage or disadvantage to one of the cast members on the show. So we don't know what that is yet. We don't know what kind of advantage or disadvantage it is, but I'm intrigued by that. I'm intrigued by the fact that you get kicked out, but then you get to bring some sort of advantage or disadvantage. I don't know how I feel. 4 episodes in, we're bringing in another cast member. I feel like it just feels like so much going on. And of course, we're on a hiatus again. I think that we're not returning for another 2 weeks, possibly. I really like this show, and I really hope that it doesn't lose its steam because I'm having so much fun with it. Right now, I'm going to give you guys my top 3 rankings of the snake, who I think is going to win based on what we've seen so far. I'm going to go Catherine number 1 still. I think she's in control of a lot of different things. I am a little worried that she might have overplayed her hand a little bit, which is going to see how that plays off in the next episode. Coming in at number 2, I have Frank. I like Frank. Frank is playing such an underrated but also dominant game in some aspects. I feel like he should be in the conversation. It's either actually, it's like him or Alyssa. I don't really know who to rank number 2 there, but I'm going to give it a slight edge to Frank. And coming in at number 3, I have to go Jack, I think. Jack's playing a really strong game. He has the numbers on his side. He has a little romance now to go along with his trio of friends plus Catherine. How will the new guys shake up the dynamic in here? I'm just interested to see what happens from here. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I got to add it. Who do you think right now is your top 3 heading into the next episode of The Snake? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we're back next week or the week after, but I hope we're back soon so we can break down the next episode of The Snake and then also provide some exit interviews with those who are eliminated from the show. If you're not watching some other shows that are on right now, Building the Band is on Netflix, Destination X on NBC, Following Day on Peacock. What else am I watching right now? I think that's about it right now. And Lego Masters, obviously, which is also on Fox as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. We'll be back very soon breaking down more of The Snake.